So in this video, I want to talk about folding bikes with women. I've been working with folding bikes for about 20 years now, so I've learned a few things here and there. And one of the things that I'm still most confused about is women's preferences, right? In that, guys usually, for the most part, they prefer suspension. Bigger guys always prefer suspension. And the full suspension bike is usually what, men like. Some of them prefer, belt drives, internal hubs, different drivetrains. They want a rear rack, so they go with a front suspension. But usually guys are pretty easy. They go with a full suspension bike outside of these other requirements, internal hubs or whatever it is, belt drives. Women, I still don't really get. I remember when I had my first store, my first bike shop, and we had all these women coming over and they really liked the minis. And to this day, I mean, it's almost 20 years, I still don't understand why they like them so much, you know? The way I see it, there are three attributes that definitely make them preferable, right? Number one, it's a lower standover height. So 16-inch wheels seems to be a preference for women. Why, I don't know. And I've talked to women and they don't, they just like them. So I can't say they have told me. But the 16-inch wheel bikes, first of all, are lower to the ground. And because they're lower to the ground, it's easier to lift your leg over, so lower standover height. So that's a really nice attribute. Number two is it has a shorter wheelbase. So it's actually easier to control at lower speeds. You can turn those things like on a dime. I mean, nearly a 90-degree turn is possible on a Mini, nearly, right? If you're going slow enough. Anyway, and so the short wheelbase is preferable at a lower rate of speed. Obviously, if you're going at a faster rate of speed, you want a longer wheelbase. And the third attribute that seems also interesting is because of the short wheelbase, the bike's smaller and all this stuff, it has a shorter virtual top tube length, which means, if you're gonna have really long arms, you're not gonna fit on a Mini, right? But if you have shorter arms, you seem to fit just right. And I think it's a combination of these three things that make a Mini preferable for women, in addition to its cuteness and all this other stuff. But why do women like smaller bikes, much smaller bikes, smaller wheel bikes? I don't know. But historically, they have preferred them much more than any metrics would define their preference to be so. So, it's one of those, little dilemmas that I still haven't figured out, but I do understand that I've come to the conclusion that I usually like to recommend men and women get different wheel sizes. And one of the reasons is, women seem to like these small wheels really much more than I expected. And in addition, the smaller wheels are faster, so you can keep up with their husbands or boyfriends, much better, without, one slowing down on purpose. The gap is naturally minimized. So, as far as women on bikes go, I think small wheels is the way to go. I mean, really small. But anyway, thank you for watching. Appreciate it.